Okay, hi everyone. This is Ping, the host for Ping Talk series. And in my talk series, I connect people and businesses. Tonight, I'm very honored to have Andy here with me to talk about a hot topic of the years that people are talking about. I mean, the renewable energy. We are going to talk about renewable energy, right? It's a hot topic. People have been talking about that. We are talking about saving the planet, and I think this I have been working with Andy closely, quite some time back.
Yep.
So today I'm very glad that he will be here to share more about this hot topic and his expertise and also his experience. Okay, so let me just introduce Andy formally first before he can share more of his experience. All right. So Andy has, graduated from NTU with a degree in Mechanical and Aerospace. So upon graduation, Andy actually started his career in ST Aerospace and then in DSTA before he actually ventured into this renewable energy as an entrepreneur, right, in 2009, which we will ask him more on why he has go into this area. And okay, so obviously, Andy has substantial knowledge and expertise in the renewable energy sector, and with a specialization on solar and wind systems. And he has more than 14 years of hands-on and leadership experience in the industry. Andy was the founder and also a former director of a renewable energy company providing EPC, which is energy engineering, procurement, and construction services. And that provides actually full turnkey systems, integration system in solar, wind, and hybrid projects. And also renewable engineering consultancy in both private and public sector, which also selectively takes on power leasing projects through PPA, which is power purchase agreement, which I think Andy can share more about that as well. And in Singapore and also in the Asia region. So currently, Andy is a senior sustainability consultant, okay, which is helping companies to develop, manage, and achieve their green goals. So once again, welcome, Andy.
Thank you. Thanks, Mong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I think we really like to know. I think you mentioned that you work in a company in DSTA and then you came out as a renewable energy as an entrepreneur in 2009. So let us know, what actually inspired you to actually jump into this renewable energy industry then. Yeah.
Well, okay, it's a long way. Since graduated from NTU, I actually worked as an engineer for 2 years. Yep. And at the point of time, I actually come across solar. Solar is very new, relatively new at that point of time. It get me fascinated. How is it renewable? Why is it renewable? Why is it called renewable energy? And I get very engrossed in that and then keep doing a lot of read up and research. And I'm very interested in that. And from then onward, the rest is history. Of course, climate change over the years, people talking about how you save electricity, and that topic is getting hotter and hotter over the years. Yep.
I mean, that's very true. I mean, it's also I mean, even you can see the government initiative in trying to push this agenda, right? We talk about the COP, and I mean, globally, every companies are really moving towards that, and especially all the European countries are pushing all the agendas all the way down to their Asia's headquarters, and hoping that they are able to get both the companies or headquarters in Asia to also achieve this, and at the same time to also beside meeting these green goals.
Yes, definitely. It actually started more it started more from Europe, America, those bigger countries, and of course Asia is slightly behind. But then right now is the hot thing. It's almost like everywhere, every part of the world is all coming about all this renewable stuff. Yep.
So So far I think based on based on what this I mean the companies, I mean in terms of meeting these goals wise, I wanted to ask this question is I think the agenda for bigger companies to go into this area kind of makes sense because I mean big companies would want to do that. So but in terms of these green goals, what do you think, I mean in terms from a smaller companies perspective, I mean is do you think that is still beneficial for smaller companies to go towards meeting these green goals?
Definitely. I think in terms of meeting green goals, there's no big or small. I mean, big companies have their own objective. Small companies have their own objectives as well. Of course, different companies have a different objective to what you call to achieve. First and foremost, you need to identify the individual company, be it big or small. You need to identify what exactly about the green that the company want to achieve, and what's good coming out of that. Be it marketing, be it achieving a sense of responsibility toward the climax, be it saving some costs here and there in terms of electricity, be it in terms of meeting some sustainability goal, in the sense that when you work with some bigger companies out there, they require some of the smaller company to be part of their green plan, so that you can be part of their what you call the working closely with them. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is, regardless whether big or small company, they have their own objective and their own ways to meet the green goals that they want to. There's no such thing as big have to do, as small no need to do, that kind of thing. It's more like everybody have their own what you call sustainability to achieve.
Okay, so basically, I think what you're saying is that well, whether you're big or small companies, you're able to advise based on different ways of still achieving. I mean that means achieving the green goals, despite that whether you are small or big companies, and you can actually advise them accordingly on what is within their means to do in order for them to achieve that.
Yes.
Okay, so it was so basically it's still beneficial for small companies to really look into this green goals.
Yes, definitely, because it's not just about spending money cost on it. It's also about when you spend this money, there's some sense of achievement because you have a marketing. People knows that you are more social responsibility. You also be aware that you are going green, and that also align you with maybe some of the bigger partners that you work with, because all these big companies nowadays have this sustainability to KPI to achieve. So all in all, you will see more benefit, not just in terms of spending the cost for nothing, because when you go green, it's a kind of I would say right now moving forward is a statement. Even you go to the banks, they also want the greener you are, the better loan that you can get, or things like that. So these are the way moving forward. And as we move along, you realize that it will evolve more. You were expecting more and more of this to come along.
I mean the thing is smaller companies will always think that I already have very limited resources. If I were to spend on this, then obviously the first thought is whether how much is going to benefit me, kind of thing. Right? I think it's quite normal for any SME companies to think about on the aspects. But like what you have said, I think there's already a growing need or recognition with regards to all these bigger companies working with the SMEs, and they will expect the smaller SMEs to follow suit in terms of meeting the green goals in order to work with them, right?
Yes. I mean, you look at it this way, Singapore has their own green plan as well. So the government is also planning something for everyone, for the environment, for Singapore. So there's a part to play for everyone. Yep.
Okay. So I think you have been in this line for so many years, and then so what do you foresee right now in the sense based on what the adoption of the companies on this renewable energy, and what do you see in the next 5 to 10 years on the trend of this renewable energies, either adoption or the kind of trend that you will see in this area, this industry?
Renewable, I would believe, is here to stay. Definitely you see more and more solar, that's for sure. Solarization.
We have seen quite a lot on the rooftop nowadays.
So in Singapore, you're expecting more and more solar. You'll be going more green. In the next few years, you see probably more EV cars, electrical vehicles, more charging electrical point. At some point in time, you will see some energy storage battery to be used. Coupled with the fact that maybe some of this will be AI driven, which means the next few years as you move along, because the hot topic now is also about AI, it's also about, how to combine all this as a total solution, not just
so
one
that
part
means
of it.
the AI solution is really starting to incorporate into the green energy stuff to make it even more efficient,
Yes.
more optimized.
I will see it that way in the next few years, probably the next 5 years. So that's something that we can expect to see as we move along. Something that more than just simply just one solar system, one EV charging, or one battery storage system. You will see something like more total, holistic kind of approach, in the sense that with AI, with other more efficient technology and things like that in terms of renewable.
Okay, so in certain ways, it's like it's always forward. There's no way that you will be able to escape from not going green. So green is going to be, sustainability is going to be there to stay, and it's going to be just become more and more. So it's going to be a norm in the future, right?
I would say so. I would think so.
So I guess it's like companies or companies that are moving forward. I think having to have sustainability into their agenda is definitely going to be a norm for most companies if they were to move forward or to actually do it with big companies. Right?
Yes, I mean, in terms of just Asia itself, look at China, Japan, the more developed countries, there's more and more EV cars coming. Singapore, we are slowly adapting that as well. So that's things you expect to change. You probably see more and more. In fact, the government's plan is they also have a plan to reduce all these kind of commercial vehicles, changing them to more green EV charging. So that there's actually a plan. You realize that they're also moving towards that kind of renewable spectrum, so to speak.
Okay, but I think it's not. It's probably already quite obvious that we are seeing a lot of solar panels being installed like on buildings, even like HDB flats kind of thing. So what do you foresee or what do you see actually like besides solar as one of the renewable energy in this area? Do you think that like there's going to be like other possible renewable energy mix in Singapore's context moving forward?
Yes, not only solar. Of course, solar is improving efficiency, is improving every year. But besides solar, the next hot thing probably is hydrogen. Hydrogen is something that people is looking at the moment. In fact, in today's Straits Times, you also realize that actually there's some news about some hydrogen power plant. So that I think is something that is going to be part of the green spectrum as well. And probably you're looking at water in the sense that water treatment as well as what I call electrolysis. That is also something that in terms of like bringing energy, breaking up the water using electrolysis to generate energy. So that's also something that I believe that is going to be a hot thing moving forward.
Okay, so looks like with the new technologies and things that's evolving, more interesting things are coming up. Okay, that's quite cool. So I think maybe we come back to the fact that like you as a consultant for the companies that you're working with, or any companies that are looking in the area of like going into this renewable energy, or how they want to achieve their goals. Beside the point that just now you mentioned that you will go through with them, like discuss with them on their needs kind of stuff. Maybe you can also discuss a little bit more on the process of helping these companies in general, how you help them to move forward in order for them to achieve these green goals.
So first and foremost, we have to discuss company what they want to achieve, because the word green is really very broad. Different company got different kind of target, different kind of strategy. So you have to identify what kind of strategy, what kind of green achievement that they want to achieve in how many years and things like that. So once with that, we will actually plan and then work closely with the company to bring it to their goal, step by step. Like for example, a company or a building says they want to go for green mark. So what we do is also we have to make sure it actually achieve all the green mark kind of criteria requirement. So we bring them through step by step, and then we manage the what you call their goal for them to make sure they achieve it. Of course, more importantly, because this kind of authority things and what you call the scope or the point actually changes over the years, right? Because it may be a 3-year plan, maybe 5-year plan, but things would change along the way. So more importantly, we also have to make sure we bring the company, align the company together towards their goal, so that in the next 3 or 5 year, whatever plan they have, we actually achieve it together with them.
So you're saying like a typical project, maybe like I'm not sure. I mean, like for a building kind of like a project, you mean like the whole project phase would be like something like 3 to 5 years kind of
usually
project range?
Yes, because it depends on what the company want to achieve. If let's say the green plan, it may not be just today, you want it today and you can implement today. It could be 1 year down the road. I mean, for example, very simply, you want to install solar, it also takes time. 1 month, 2 months. If it's a bigger system, maybe 1 year, depending on how big the size is. So it takes time, not a 1 day, 2 day thing. It takes time over the years to achieve certain requirements, certain benchmarks, certain milestones, move along until the final plan. So what we do, we identify with them, we bring it across, we implement, and then we execute whatever that's need to implement to achieve their goal. Importantly, along the way, because things may change, you see, so we need to tweak, and then we discuss with them and make sure this is aligned towards the company.
So it seems like it's not a short process, it's a pretty long process. So that means companies will have to really plan ahead about like if they want to achieve,
in a way, yes, you need to plan. Short or long, it really depends on what you want to achieve, you see. It can be as short as a few months, it can be as long as 3 years to 5 years, depending on what is the plan and what is going to be attained out of it eventually. Yeah.
Okay, sounds like okay. I mean, there's a lot of planning, a lot of discussion, kind of stuff along the way. So what are the then in that case there must be like also some challenges that I think probably you will face as well. So what are the kind of like common challenges that you would probably face if, let's say, it's a long this kind of like 3-5 years project thing? There must be some challenges that
I mean, typical challenges is the changes in the rule and regulations and
from the government
regulation, from the authorities regulation. As we move along, things change, and of course, sometimes as we move along, the framework of the companies are renewable sustainability probably also change in terms of the target achievement. And things
I hope it's not like maybe the stakeholder change and then the whole direction change.
I hope not. It's possible, but I hope not.
Okay.
Usually, once we identify all these, we work with them and make sure that the company achieve it. But what I'm trying to say is along the way, I feel there's no what I call a smooth 100% road. There is some tweak along the way here and there, and that's the important thing. That's where you determine whether you hit the goal or not. That's where you have to, as we move along, navigate. That's the important part of it.
Okay, so ultimately, despite the time, maybe the few milestones that you all set along the plan on achieving the goal wise, but things may change because of
many reasons.
Many reasons.
Yes.
So ultimately, you will still work with the client
yes.
to make adjustment, and
Definitely.
then still ultimately the end goal is to achieve the green goals that the company has actually set forth with you.
I mean, to get from point A to point B is the very straightforward one. Everybody will do that. But how you get from point A and point B in between is the one that you need to navigate and ensure that, stay on course. You are there, and then eventually you get there.
Okay. So, maybe you can clarify a little bit more with regards to, because when we say about green goals, right, it seems like a very, very broad basis.
Yep.
Like, wow, green. Okay. So what do you consider as green? Right. I mean, so can you elaborate a little bit more, like, okay, when you talk to customers about achieving these green goals, what are some of the so-called quantified goals that we are talking about, so that the audience will know clearer with regards to what we are talking about? What are the typical kind of green goals we are talking about?
Okay, I mean, the easiest, the first and foremost is solar. People want to install solar is because they want to reduce electricity. That's part of green. They want to also, have their green attribution. That's also green. That solar is one part of it. The second part of it probably is carbonization. Nowadays the carbon tax is very high. Scope 1 carbon you're talking about. So that is something that the customer also may want to work towards there. That's also part of green. Of course, the next thing is what you call in terms of like the company want to go for green mark, low energy, SLE, you call it super low energy building and things like that. So there's a criteria to meet, and that's also part of the green. Because the more elite one, they want to go 100% green. The big companies that you always hear, international brand, Apple, Google, all this, and those are really 100% green. Everything is green.
Also,
Because that's also considered green. So the word green is actually very broad.
Correct.
Yes, so it really boils down to what aspect of it that the customer want to
they want to achieve.
Yes, the typical one in Singapore right now is as the few we mentioned, it's about carbon because of the scope 1 carbon, the carbon tax, they want to reduce the carbon. Solar, so that's scope 2. That's where the solar energy, renewable energy comes in to offset your electrical bill, to cover your scope 2 carbon, or whether there is more RECs, like renewable energy certificate. So of course, having say that, of course, there are companies that want to achieve like green mark, platinum, and things like that for the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So, even more into it, not just all this, because the word green is very broad, right? This is more electricity, and you're also talking about water treatment, how you reduce water, and then also how you reduce the what you call lighting intensity with all the sensor and things like that. So it's a wholesome. Ultimately, it's of course saving electricity, but it's also about the how in the sense that how green you want a company to be. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, is that like it seems like actually there's really quite a lot of things that you can do, right? But it's just about like how much you want to do, how much time you want to spend, how much you really want to relate. I mean, there's some kind of customers would want to like say like, oh, I want to be green, but I only want to do like 50% green kind of thing. Then, maybe 80%. I'm not sure. It's like so they can probably decide what exactly how green they want to be green.
Yes.
And then what are the areas that they can focus on, or like depending
because
on...
the word green is really broad, you see. I mean, now we are talking about just electricity, about energy, but ultimately green is a lot of other things. Reuse, recycle, and renewable. So all these are part of the word of green. Water, electricity, the natural lighting and things like that. All these are part of it green, because ultimately you think back with an efficient ventilation system, using natural cooling, use less aircon, you also consider green, because you use less electricity, use less what you call refrigerant.
So anything that reviews like anything that is reducing carbon, anything that is reducing electricity in a sense, because currently the electricity are being generated by like a brown source kind of thing, right? That's why by reducing electricity is like reducing that carbon in a sense.
Yes. So right now, most electricity we use are actually considered brown, if you want to quantify. So it's brown, meaning to say it's from natural gas, or from coal, what have you. But then the how you convert this, or how many percent we convert it to be
really a green,
but from solar, or it's another what I call qualification.
So I mean, it can be as simple as like I just want to install solar panels, and then that's part of like what I can be green, maybe probably for our requirement kind of stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's okay. So that is really more on like how different companies would want to achieve in their goals, and then of course is your expertise to advise them on like what are the possible things that can be done in order to achieve them.
I mean, it's a very long and broad topic. We can talk on and on. Ultimately, it really depends what the customer want, and we have to work closely with them. Typically, right now in the market, most people are concerned with, of course, is electricity, and then we call it the scope 1, scope 2 carbon. Scope 1 carbon means say direct carbon, those that you use for transportation, your daily operation. That's the carbon tax. Right, presently, I think it's going to increase to $80. Yeah, so and it's going to be increasing more. So that's the carbon tax.
I think government did
one,
announce about
yes,
the increase in the
yes. So there's scope 1. Of course, scope 2 carbon is a renewable, additional kind of what I call alternative, additional side of energy, be it from wind, be it from renewable, solar and things like that. So that's where the renewable energy certificate comes in, and that is second part, like the scope 2. Yeah. So these are the two main kind of green that we will in Singapore that we talk about.
Okay. But anyway, I think you definitely have all the expertise and knowledge on this area, with regards to companies achieving their green goals, and what are the possibilities, what options that's available to them in order for them to achieve. I mean, that's where you comes in to advise the companies on that basis, right? So earlier on, you also mentioned like a lot of things also depends on like the government regulation kind of stuff. So is the regulation right now really like a changing a lot kind of thing, or it's like still manageable from
of course there's challenges. Of course there's challenges. There's some strict requirement that's required, especially coming in terms of installing solar, and of course even in terms of like carbon or renewable energy certificate regs, there's also some guideline that the authority needs to be followed. So definitely there are challenges. What I feel is that yes, these challenges may somehow deter people from, because of
from really want to achieve. It's like, hey, how come like I want to do this, but then there's so many roadblocks kind of thing. The whole progress is like hey, can I actually achieve? I mean, it's like if any companies who want to achieve green, I mean, bigger companies probably they will take longer time, but maybe for small company, if they were gonna take like a long time, they also kind of like disheartening. It's like how come it's cannot be faster, because
I mean that's where that's where we come in to help the customer to ensure them and make sure that they is comply in the sense that whatever they want to do, like installing a solar or in terms of carbon or this, everything is compliant nicely and in the way that's the part where I mentioned, from point A to point B is the easy part. It's the in between, how you navigate from point A to point B. That's what we mentioned, all this authority and things. There's no guarantee that things will change. There's a lot of things that will change, along the way.
So, but out of all these challenges that you mentioned, what do you think the biggest challenges will be? Is it like a compliance, or is it a regulation? The government regulation is probably like one of the highest probably challenges that in terms of the work that you are doing, that for a company to achieve their green goal. Is it more on the regulation, or is actually something else?
I would say half is regulation, and the other half is, of course, depending on the again what the company want to achieve. Because in very general term, is like, yes, the regulation is something that we have to navigate. That is something, but of course, the regulation is there for a reason. It's just that something that we need to challenge at the moment, and we need to take on the
so I think ultimately it's like if the companies wants to go green, I think they will have to look for you to help them to navigate through these challenges and then to ultimately achieve the goal, right? So I guess that's the values that you're bringing to the customers in helping them to achieve that. I guess that's the expertise, because I think there's always a lot of things that may be unforeseen. I mean, I guess while everybody is rushing to achieve all these goals, I think people, a lot of them are also trying to learn about the new things, that kind of stuff. So I guess with your expertise that's coming in, ensuring that even despite there is changes along the way from either regulation or whatever technologies or whatever, I think you'll be there to be able to advise the clients on like okay, what are the things that they can change to ensure that they remain on course to achieve their green goals.
Yeah, that's the important thing to help the customer achieve their goal.
Mm.
It's more on the communication. The open communication is very important. Talking to the customer what they want, setting up a template, a frame goal, how you're going to achieve what they want, and different milestone. And then of course we do regular feedback and to ensure that they eventually navigate to achieve their goal. Yeah, so it's more like a framework, kind of a checklist. We ensure that customer can get from point 1 to point 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think ultimately whatever that we have discussed is already mentioned that I think, I mean, achieving, Andy has already touched on like, the reason for companies to achieve this green goal. Of course, there are already companies that they already wanted to go green because for the fact that their parent company is bringing down these agendas for them to push this for them, for the branches, the other officers in other regions to also go green. Then of course the benefit for like small companies to also achieve green, right? Because for the fact that bigger companies will also need the supply chains or vendors in their for them to implement as a green company as well, because part of the requirement, right? So that's the motivation for them to do so, because so that they have to keep their business going and ensuring that they still continue to work with their customers thing. Right. All right, man. So okay, so I guess like so I think for those people who are are very keen to come into this area, especially like young engineers, so what kind of advice would you actually give it to them if they would want to consider to come into this renewable energy sector?
I think first and foremost, you have to do more reading. Why I say that, because not just the regulation, the technology, the products keep changing. There's always newer product, newer model, so to speak. So it's always good to keep oneself updated with all the latest know-how. The passion has to be there, because renewable is something that it has to be something that you want to do lah. It's this, because if there's zero passion, it will be very dry, very boring. So I mean, there have to be certain what you call degree of passion has to be there. Keep yourself up reading, do more research, talk to people more.
Does it mean like maybe people don't like because if you were to do solar panels, then you have to go out to the sun? That could be a hindrance to people wanting to come into the industry.
Maybe you never know, but unfortunately, sun is the best friend for renewable energy.
Okay.
So not just solar, a lot of renewable. You have to definitely go out there and feel it. The sun is definitely part of it that you have to take care of lah. Even you're talking about the buildings or what have you. You cannot run away from the sun. It is not just office work to be just in renewable. Sometimes you still need to go out to take a look, in terms of how is it like. And
so Andy, just now you were saying like I mean, of course we already know solar energy is here. You talk about like a hydrogen as part of another possibility of renewable energy in Singapore. You are also an expert in like a wind system as well. So do you foresee like Singapore will adopt this wind energy somehow, in the near future?
I think that the what you call the one is there lah. I mean, wanting to do it is always there. But it's not happening. It's not because of because this part of the world, the wind is not as fantastic as other part of the world, like in Taiwan or even in Europe or other part of the countries. So that is something that remains to be seen. But for sure, the one is always there. They mean to say, we want wind energy. We love wind energy. Whether is it worth deploying because of the efficiency of the wind and things like that is another thing altogether. No point deploying something that's not really working. So that's the challenge.
Yeah, because I think, I mean, having to hear about the news in the past, I'm sure maybe some have already heard this about like that time there are a project that about tapping renewable energy all the way from Australia, building the cable all the way to Singapore. I
Yeah.
mean, that was a kind of like I think it did create some kind of stir in terms of discussion about like whether it would work, and like having to have a source of renewable energy all the way from such a far away land, so in a sense it's kind of like a show that like maybe Singapore is kind of like really really kind of like exploring all different kind of options to really go into this particular area.
Yes. Yes, I mean there are a few projects out there in the market that are talking about cross country. There's actually there's a few of them.
That's still happening
It's
right
still
now, still
happening, still in
discussion.
discussion, in the process. So in the next few years, definitely see a few of these coming up.
Yeah, I guess the kind of energy requirement, energy needs is definitely
Always there,
just going
always
to
there.
be. It's not just there. I guess it's going to be
Increasing.
getting more and more.
Yes.
In a future wise, right?
Yes.
So especially like you are talking about like EVs coming
Yes,
in.
yes.
I mean these are yes, we are getting rid of all the petrol, diesel cars, but having these EVs coming in means that the requirement for EV charging points, the electricity to charge all these cars will kind of like increase very significantly on the demand rise.
I mean, definitely. I mean, the electricity usage, Singapore electricity usage is on the rise. I foresee the next few years is going to be increasing year by year. Yeah, especially like what you mentioned with the EV charging. If you're going to adopt more EV, you'll see a more power surge, especially when people are charging. The point of time you mentioned whole Singapore.
I hope the black clouds won't come back again. Somehow.
Yeah. We need all the electricity, to be honest. So you will see quite a bit of those cross-border kind of projects for this kind of transfer or buy sell of electricity overseas very soon. The next few years. Yeah.
Okay, great. So Andy, I think you have covered already on the few things. I think the important points on why companies should go into green, as not only just the big companies, but also smaller ones as well, right? So what are the challenges, what are the timeline, and what you as a senior consultant can do for companies out there. So is there like some any things that you would like to really shout out to the companies out there that are still either like considering or not so sure? What is the message that you want to bring across to them that about your either your services or maybe as a sustainability in general?
I think in general, my point is that if you have a plan, you consider a plan to go green, talk to more people, not just with me, but talk to people who knows renewable, explore, and of course discuss and put it into action. I think going green will not go wrong. It's more about how you're going to implement it in the efficient and cost efficient way. So talk to people more, explore more, and then put it into action. That's what I feel. Yeah, because a lot of companies actually wanted to know the benefit of it, but ponder. I don't know.
Yeah,
this,
they are not so sure about like how to do, what's the things involved, all these things.
Yes.
Okay, so definitely, Andy is the guy. He's here, and he's definitely has the expertise. I think anybody who wants to consider Andy's service to discuss about the possibility of your company going green. Okay, but remember, going green does not necessarily means that it's just only about building solar panels, right? So it can be just companies with office, with staff, I mean, there's a lot of different ways for your company to achieve your sustainability goals, to able to achieve that in such a way that you can showcase to your customers, to your consumers, that like you are also part of this group of people that would want to not just looking at saving the earth, but really doing your part for the environment, right? So Andy will be the guy to help you guys. So anybody who is keen to talk to Andy on these aspects, can always reach out to me. Then I will connect Andy to you guys to talk more, so that he can. So do you do kind of like some initial consultation with them?
Yep, definitely.
Before you execute the plan.
Yes, yes, we have to understand what the customer want, and then we have to check first, have a talk, and then
to see whether they meet the criteria before you all go into the proper of engaging a service.
Yeah, I mean, not more meeting criteria, but more what they want to do.
Okay,
and
okay.
Initial phase, just have a quick check to understand customer.
Understood. Yeah. So you all heard Andy. So if you are really keen into looking this area, okay, there's really a lot of different ways in achieving green. So and it does not mean about big companies only. Small companies can achieve that as well. So do talk to Andy about your thoughts, and I'm sure that Andy will be able to give you the right direction, right advices in this sustainability journey. All right, Andy. Yep. So I'm very glad you're here with me today.
Thank
you.
And
sharing your experience. And I hope that whatever that Andy has mentioned is of valuable information to you. At least it clears some airs with regards to your initial thoughts on going green. So, yep, thanks a lot. And I'm glad to have whoever that is staying with us. Thank you so much for staying with me. And well, next week I have a new speaker coming on, and we will talk about some other stuff which I will share in my social media. So good night to everyone, and thanks to Andy.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.